Hello everyone, it's me Jane. It's time for another commentary type thing. Today I just wanted to film my web camera because I'm beginning to quite like the web camera for commentaries, because it means that I have more flexibility to actually get into your comments and really delve into them without having to worry about time. And it's one of the few days which means I can catch up. If you guys really don't like me using my web camera for these, then I can switch to HD again and make it look all professional and lovely. But I'm quite enjoying having the freedom that it allows in terms of time. So at the moment I'm just going to finish filming on my web camera for maybe this week, and we'll see how you guys react to it. If you want me to go back to using my fancy dancy camera for the commentaries, I can. And if you don't, then I will continue to stick with the web camera, because it's nice to have at least one day when I can do a low definition video which doesn't take long to upload. And it seems to work for this sort of video because it just means that I have more time to actually get into your comments. So the comments for this week, I basically went through and I've just replied to all your comments as normal, and in no particular order. I'm just going to go through them as I do. So on my last week's commentary video, let's see, Nathan Lal says every time I say I'm not wearing makeup, can't really tell the difference at all. To be honest, like, the most makeup that I wear is a little bit of foundation over any bad skin spots. Like, if I've got a bit of spots or a bit of something that just doesn't look right, I'll put a bit of foundation. But I don't wear mascara, I don't wear eyeliner. I just don't. I'm so lazy. It's a constant state of laziness. But literally that's all the makeup I wear. So, and one of the things that I've actually been working on is a combination of, when I'm on my days off, taking more care of myself. So doing things like painting my nails and wearing dangly earrings and wearing jewellery to really help me differentiate between my days at work and my days at home, and my free days, and actually being more comfortable in not wearing makeup at all when I'm filming. And in fact, probably, I don't think I've worn makeup in the last week, even for my normal videos. Obviously for Naked Truth I do it without makeup, and in fact I'm not wearing any makeup at all right now. So it's kind of an interesting kind of flip-floppy between trying to actively take better care of myself in terms of physical appearance and like brushing myself up, versus becoming even more relaxed, particularly with you guys on the internet. So yeah, if you don't like it, I'm not going to change, it's my decision. But that's pretty much, like, I'm not wearing makeup right now. It's almost a challenge to see when I am wearing makeup. Even I don't know half the time. Mark commented that the controls that I described sound like every single other PC game. The thing that I have, the reason why I find it quite so difficult on the Resident Evil games is there's, 7 or 8 keys which are all left-handed. Usually with most of the PC games that I've been playing, I've reorganised the keyboard so at least I have some equality to the right to left hand. So for example, I have the direction keys are usually my arrow keys on the right, so then I would just do the control and commands with my left. It's slightly more complicated now. I have a mouse. There's a lot of things that I wish I could play around with, and that's the reason why I have actually ordered an Xbox controller in order to try and play some more Alice Madness Returns, because that game is gorgeous, but I really can't coordinate that much with my left hand. If I could maybe use my mouse with my right hand and then do all the controls right, use the mouse on my left hand and then control everything with my right hand, it might be slightly better, but I'm just ridiculously uncoordinated. And KSJ said Led Zeppelin would sing Ramble On. I guess that's a reference to a song, but I have no idea what song that is. Moving on to my Tea at Home with Jenny on Pims. Junk to a video says, congratulations on picking up Pims as a sponsor. Either you misread my thing on the stream saying this is not a sponsored video, or you're being wishful thinking. Either way, thank you for the wishful thinking, but I was not sponsored by Pims at all. And in fact, I was slightly worried that it might cause a copyright claim, which is why in the description I put it as fruit cups and a couple of other non-branded terms. But there we go. Solace B, I've got the feeling I might need to explain this. Said, you forgot to stick out your little finger while eating a cream donut, and that is not very ladylike. Sticking out one's finger, particularly when drinking tea or doing pretty much anything, is actually quite vulgar, and that's a very big misconception. It's one of those things that's so culturally, like, in depth that it's almost considered on a level to be a polite thing to do, but it's not. The thing with sticking your finger out when holding a teacup is it's meant to prove that you're holding a teacup delicately. So if you're actually holding a teacup delicately, you just hold it, and you hold it lightly, and that's fine. If you're sticking out your little finger, it's saying, I am deliberately holding my teacup delicately, and it spoils the line of the hand. It doesn't look very nice. It says, look, I'm holding the teacup really, really lightly, but it's proving it in such a intense way. It's actually kind of vulgar. If you're going to hold a teacup, don't stick out your little finger. It's not polite. Obviously, as I said, it's such a cultural prerequisite for most people to just assume that sticking out your finger is polite because it's so often commented on, but it's not. It's proving something unnecessarily, which is quite vulgar. But that's at least what I've been brought up to know. I may be wrong, but that's what I've been told. Baxorn said that his favourite drink is the Adios Motherfucker, which sounds terrifying, and a couple of screwdrivers, and that sort of thing. There is something very nice about fancy cocktails. For my 18th birthday, we went to a really fancy restaurant. I had like this crushed ice cocktail thing, which was delicious, but by the time I was halfway down, I was completely buzzed in a kind of like, I'm happy but I'm also sleepy way. Obviously in the UK, you're allowed to legally drink at 18, so that was my first drink as an 18-year-old. This really fancy iced cocktail with crushed ice. It's beautiful. Nathan Lyle says he doesn't really drink that much, but he knows enough people that he's surprised that nobody ever knew about it. And he thinks that it sounds like a very American concept that let's pour alcohol over fruit. It maybe does sound a bit American. It's oddly Americanized. Obviously, cocktails came around during the Prohibition era to make moonshine taste better. So the fact that Pimm's was made in the early 1920s probably is kind of a British reaction to the American invention of a cocktail. But there you go. And he also wants to see me ride a sheep, and he thinks it would be a funny sight, which, okay, that's the most random thing I've heard all day, so yay, sheep riding. That's bizarre and amazing. Ryan said when I said convoluted, he was expecting something strange, but I went above and beyond, so yay. And he was wondering what the name of the music that I used was. The two tracks I used, I think, were Once Were Kings and Morning Walk. They're from the Creator Tools list from the YouTube audio library. If you just go through them, there's a lot of really good songs. Pretty much all the music that I use in my videos is probably from that list because I want to avoid copyright if I possibly can. But yeah, if you go through that, you can find some really, really good songs. It's a good selection. KSJ Hawker said the strawberries would look good in a pie or a shortcake. Strawberries are just lovely no matter what you put them in. But I think probably one of the best things I've ever had with strawberries is if you get shortbread and cream and then do like a layered cream shortbreads. It's so good. It's so good. It's very refreshing and sweet and wonderful. Okay, on to my Gaming Monday video. Balls or Ballers 90 asked about why I was in Windows mode. The reason why I play Skyrim in Windows mode is when I first set up Skyrim on my laptop, it had this really weird glitch where it'd flash, like the lighting effects would go off, it would flash frames, and the only way to fix it was me to set it to Windows mode where you have the little blue bar at the top. It doesn't really interfere with gameplay at all, but I can imagine it's slightly frustrating for you guys. In my first couple of Skyrim videos, in order to counteract that, I did slightly enlarge my screen, so that was cut off, but it did mean that I was cutting off other parts of the screen, so in the end I was just like, screw it, you guys can watch what I watch, but if it really bothers you, I'm sorry. Moving on to the Random Tuesday vlog. That was my camera phone commute video. A lot of you were very worried about my safety. Don't worry, like literally that is my commute. I cut out maybe at maximum 20 seconds of my journey home. That is pretty much the entire thing. The only reason why I cut it out was there was things like number plates and street numbers and stuff that I didn't really want to reveal, just in terms of just general stuff, and it worked well with the music, the pace I was at, and I wanted to cut out like one or two of the, things like trash cans and rubbish bins and that sort of thing that are just less nice. Which, you know, when you pass by a wood and you see a rubbish bin, it's not the end of the world. But if you're doing it on video, you have the right to just like, oh, get it out. But as I said, it was literally about 20 seconds of commute. That is my entire commute to and from work. So you know, it isn't that dangerous. I am, you know, I have to indicate twice, so I do spend a reasonable amount of time with my hand off the handlebars. So, you know, I did do it safely. And, you know, I have a lot of experience with that road. I know exactly where all the potholes are. There was no traffic at all that day. And I think KSJ was commenting that I shouldn't hit the wall. That's an odd side effect of my camera. My camera has a very wide lens, which made me look like I was very, very close to the wall when I wasn't. I was a good meter away from that wall, and very safe, so don't worry, it was just the angle of the camera and the wide angle lens. My camera phone, it doesn't let me zoom out at all. It's very set for things like selfies, so it's got a very wide angle lens, so that's why it looked like I was very close to that wall when I wasn't. Don't worry, I was completely safe. Had I felt at all uncertain, I would have dismounted at any point during that commute. Same with Nathan Lyle. He was worried that I'd hurt myself. I need to get myself a GoPro. Yeah, I think one of the things that I really liked, actually, if you watch my my PIMS video, the last shot that I added as like a little bonus video because it was really pretty, that is actually with the camera. I had both hands on the steering wheel. I had my camera strap over my shoulder, and then my camera actually laid up against the back of my back. So, and then I was just biking in the other direction, so that's why you have that really nice shot at the end, but that was completely, you know, as safe as I can possibly get. But yeah, I like experimenting. It's a new, exciting thing to do. Figueroa said that his commute sucks, pretty much, that it's all concrete and construction, which is really sad. I really like my commute. I really like how green it is. Perhaps one of my minor fears about going to America is I looked at a map of the VidCon area, and it's so square and there's so little green. I'm so used to green in my life that seeing just cityscapes might be quite alarming. My sister suggested I carry around a pot plant while I'm in California, so I can be like, look, it's a little tree, and just walk around with a little tree, so I don't lose my sense of greenness. But there we go. Moving on, last but not least, to my naked truth for this week. Nathan Lyle talks about how it's kind of the difference between having friendships that are. I feel like I might have skipped a video. 1 sec. Anyway, I'm sorry. Staring into space for a moment. I definitely feel like I closed something without commenting on it. Either way, Nathan Lyle on my Church because Nature talked about the differences between age is just a number, but the number is there for a reason. He also comments on the difference between platonic and romantic relationships. I've always found myself more able to form relationships with either children or older people, and that's always been the case. When I was in school, I was used to prefer hanging out with teachers or hanging out with people in the year, a couple of years below than the actual people of my age. But I think that's a very different thing when you add romance and intimacy. It becomes a whole different ballpark. I was actually going to mention platonic relationships in that video, and I thought it would be best to kind of leave some space out, but it's definitely a good point. There is a difference between platonic and non-platonic relationships in terms of age differences and how that affects the player. Let's see, Eric says he knows people who have a good and safe romantic relationship, even with the age difference, so like my grandparents. And Big Virgo Tube plays by the 5 up, 5 down rule, which is relatively good. I think it's all down to an individual to practice their own rules and see how they play out. Oh, I remember what I was going to talk about, the Resident Evil franchise. There was a couple of comments about the Resident Evil franchise on the last week's commentary. But I think I will save that for another video because I've been talking for already too long. There we go. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for commenting this week. Feel free to comment down below on any of the videos from this week, and I might talk about you next week. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely week. Oh, as a final point, I was going through last week's videos and I realised that I missed a day. I missed my anime review. I actually did film an anime review, and then somehow I forgot to upload it. So it's uploading right this minute. And as soon as this video is online, I will unlist it so it is like a bonus video for this week. I'm sorry about that. I did finally finish watching Death Note, and so that is the review that will be going up probably directly after this video, so I will be caught up by the time this video is up online. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys all very soon. Yeah, I guess.